Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, China, Taiwan. Global tensions are escalating, and the signs of World War III are everywhere. But if conflict erupts on a global scale, where will you find yourself serving? Today we will discuss 10 locations where you will survive in World War III, so buckle up, smash that like button, and let's get started. First up, we've got New Zealand. You know those stunning landscapes from Lord of the Rings? Yeah, that's New Zealand. But it's not just beautiful, it's also crazy remote. We're talking way down in the South Pacific, far away from any potential conflict zones. Plus, New Zealand is known for being super self-sufficient. They've got fertile land for agriculture, plenty of fresh water, and a whole lot of coastline for fishing. Imagine this. You're chilling on a farm with snow-capped mountains in the distance, fresh air, and more sheep than people. No nuclear fallout, no crazy dictators, just peace and quiet. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Getting to New Zealand during a global crisis? Not going to be easy. Still, if you're looking for a beautiful and remote place to escape the chaos, New Zealand is definitely worth considering. Next up, we're heading to Iceland, the land of fire and ice. This Nordic island nation is as tough as it is beautiful. Think volcanoes, glaciers, geysers. It's like something out of a fantasy novel. But Iceland's real strength lies in its isolation and its incredible geothermal energy resources. See, Iceland sits smack in the middle of the North Atlantic, far away from major population centers. And get this. They practically run their entire country on geothermal energy. Imagine this. You're soaking in a natural hot spring, surrounded by breathtaking scenery, while the rest of the world is in chaos. You've got geothermal-powered greenhouses keeping you fed, and the northern lights are putting on a show every night. Of course, Iceland has its challenges too. The weather can be brutal, and the cost of living is sky high. But if you can handle the cold and you're looking for a place that's energy independent and far, far away from the action, Iceland might just be the perfect hideout. Now let's talk about Switzerland. You know them for their chocolate, cheese, and watches, but Switzerland is also famous for something else: neutrality. They haven't taken sides in a war in over 200 years. And it's not just talk. Switzerland is seriously prepared for anything. They've got mandatory military service, a well-trained militia, and enough bunkers to shelter their entire population. Plus, their infrastructure is top-notch. If the world goes to hell in a handbasket, Switzerland is going to be the most organized bunker in the house. Imagine this. While the rest of the world is in chaos, you're safe and sound in a high-tech Swiss bunker, enjoying your chocolate and cheese rations. But let's be real. Switzerland is tiny, and it's right in the heart of Europe. If things get really bad, staying neutral might not be enough to keep them out of the crosshairs. Still, if you're looking for a place with a proven track record of safety and preparedness, Switzerland is definitely worth considering. Up next, we're heading to the Great White North Canada. Now, Canada might be known for its friendly people and love of hockey, but it's also a survivalist's dream come true. Why? 2 words: space and resources. Canada is massive, the second largest country in the world, with a surprisingly small population. We're talking vast forests, endless lakes, and more wilderness than you can shake a hockey stick at. And all that space means resources: timber, fresh water, minerals, you name it. Canada's got it. Imagine this. You're holed up in a log cabin deep in the Canadian wilderness, miles from any city or town. You've got a roaring fire, a pantry full of maple syrup, and you're living off the land, hunting and fishing like a true outdoorsman. But don't think it's all going to be easy. Canadian winters are no joke, and surviving in the wilderness takes serious skills and knowledge. Still, if you're looking for a vast and resource-rich country to escape the chaos, Canada is definitely worth a look. Just make sure you pack your warmest coat and a good pair of snowshoes. Now we're heading down under to Australia, the land of kangaroos, koalas, and some of the most deadly creatures on the planet. But don't let that scare you off. Australia is a surprisingly good place to ride out a global apocalypse. It's an island continent, naturally isolated from the rest of the world. Plus, it's got a whole lot of nothing in the middle. The Outback is a vast, arid region that's sparsely populated and unforgiving. If you know what you're doing, the Outback can provide food, water, and shelter. Imagine a solar-powered base camp near a natural spring, collecting rainwater and growing food, maybe even befriending a kangaroo or two. But don't underestimate the challenges. The Outback is brutally hot, dry, and home to many deadly creatures. So Australia isn't for the faint of heart, but for seasoned survivalists, it might be the ultimate test. Let's journey to the Himalayas, to the Kingdom of Bhutan. This tiny country nestled high in the mountains is like something out of a fairy tale. Think stunning landscapes, ancient monasteries, and a culture deeply rooted in peace and happiness. Bhutan is all about sustainability and living in harmony with nature. Now, Bhutan might not be as geographically isolated as some of the other places on our list, but its remote location, high altitude, and lack of strategic importance make it a less likely target for a global conflict. Imagine this. You're meditating in a peaceful monastery surrounded by towering Himalayan peaks, breathing in the fresh mountain air. You're living a simple life, growing your own food, practicing mindfulness, and escaping the chaos and destruction of the outside world. But life in Bhutan isn't for everyone. It's a challenging environment, with limited resources, and a traditional way of life. Still, if you're looking for a place that values peace, sustainability, and spiritual well-being, Bhutan might just be the perfect sanctuary. Next up, we're sailing to Norway, the land of Vikings, fjords, and some of the happiest people on Earth. But Norway's got more going for it than just breathtaking scenery and a high quality of life. For starters, Norway has a rock-solid economy, largely thanks to its abundant oil and gas reserves. They've also got a strong social safety net, which means their citizens are well cared for. But Norway's real strength lies in its geography. The country is incredibly mountainous, with countless fjords, deep narrow inlets carved by glaciers that provide natural protection and isolation. Imagine this. You're living in a cozy cabin on the edge of a fjord, surrounded by towering cliffs and pristine waters. You're fishing for your dinner, chopping firewood, and maybe even seeing the northern lights dance across the sky. But don't think it's all going to be easy. Norway's winters can be long and harsh, and those fjords can be pretty isolating. Still, if you're looking for a country with a strong economy, a high quality of life, and a stunning natural environment, Norway is definitely worth considering. Let's journey to South America, to the long, skinny country of Chile. Known for its wine and stunning Andes mountains, Chile is also resilient with much to offer. Geographically diverse, Chile has the Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, to the glaciers and fjords of Patagonia. This diversity means varied resources and climates for survival. Isolated by the Andes and the Pacific Ocean, imagine a sustainable community in a fertile Andean valley. Growing food, raising livestock, living simply. But don't underestimate the challenges. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are real threats. Yet Chile's diverse geography and resilient communities make it worth considering. We're heading back to the Pacific Ocean, to the island nation of Fiji. Known for its crystal-clear waters, pristine beaches, and laid-back vibe, Fiji might seem like an unlikely place to survive a global apocalypse. But don't let those idyllic images fool you. Fiji is a nation of over 300 islands, many of them uninhabited, which means plenty of places to escape the chaos. Plus, they're incredibly self-sufficient, relying on fishing, agriculture, and tourism for their livelihoods. Imagine this. You found a remote island in Fiji, far from any major cities or towns. You're living in a traditional bure, a thatched roof hut, fishing for your dinner, growing your own fruits and vegetables, and enjoying the simple life. But life in paradise isn't without its challenges. Fiji is prone to cyclones, which can be incredibly destructive. Still, if you're a skilled sailor with a knack for survival and a love of the ocean, Fiji might just be the perfect place to escape the end of the world. Finally, we're going to the top of the world, to Greenland, the largest island on Earth. Now, Greenland might be covered in ice and snow for most of the year, but don't let that fool you. This Arctic giant is a surprisingly good place to ride out a global catastrophe. For starters, Greenland is incredibly remote, located way up in the North Atlantic, far from major population centers and potential conflict zones. Plus, it's got a surprising amount of resources, including fresh water in the form of ice, fish, and even some mineral deposits. Imagine this. You've found a self-sufficient community living off the grid in Greenland. But let's be real. Surviving in Greenland takes serious skills and a high tolerance for cold, dark winters. Still, if you're a true survivalist looking for the ultimate challenge, and you don't mind the cold, Greenland might just be the perfect place to test your limits. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more epic content. Let us know in the comments which location you think is the best for surviving World War III. Would you rather be chilling in New Zealand, soaking in an Icelandic hot spring, or braving the Australian outback? Stay safe, and see you in the next video.